or like you're gonna find me in the
Yeah,
wind or
look
something?
for me in the whirlwind. Hey, we got
Yeah.
20 seconds. This one gonna end, and I'm gonna
Yeah.
come in and I'm gonna take some more callers.
All right, man. I appreciate you for having me, bro.
Okay, ain't a problem. It's good for you to call in. We need more of the young guys to get their game.
Just be talking to us about like finding our roots and stuff. And I've been trying to like do that. How you be telling us like, talk to your elders and stuff in your family. Find like, the little bits of paperwork and stuff like that. But I've come to find like all of on my dad and my mom's side, like all of like my elders is like, I feel like that have that knowledge is gone. Like back in August, I just went up to New York, for one of my great aunts, her funeral, and she was she was married into our family, but her husband, my great uncle, he was he was one of 14 of the kids that like was from Georgia. And I don't know, I feel like that, like I know that that's like where like we from, like it's down south, but I feel like I really don't know how to like find that knowledge because all the people that would know is not here no more. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Hmm. So try this. This may help you a little bit. Go back as far as you can to find out where in the South y'all from. When you get a geography, pull up a tribal map of the United States.
Mm,
It's
okay.
going to tell you exactly what tribe, or you can just look at the area and say what Native American tribe is from this area. Now, they might show you pictures of $2 Indians. They ain't even $5 Indians because they don't even look like a motherfucking Indian. But so they don't even look like the people from the West Coast that was mixing with the Asians. They just look like they straight from Europe. I call them $2 Indians. They ain't even whole $5 Indians. But a lot of them was adopted into the tribes to help us overrun the institutions with friendly pale faces to get the secrets out in the open.
Right.
But knowing that, the tribal name of the tribe that settled the area is the fastest way to determine the most likely tribe you from. But remember, when we was fighting the Gullah Wars, we was coming from all parts of the land,
Yeah. Right.
right? So if you stopped there, you could have been hosted by that tribe as well and fed and babies take care of, and they lead the babies that was born on the journey to the war with these people. That's how so many of us was passed off as sold children in slavery because we
Right.
was taking in the children and they was turning big mama houses into plantation homes,
Right.
right? So when we figure out what's going on, we're like, hold on, no, 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 right? And we begin to fight them everywhere we seen them. And this is what we was talking about in the first video is how did they get their extension? Because when they start fucking with the babies, you can't tell the chief he can't take his soldiers to war.
Hell no.
And we
Not
kept
about
fighting
them
them.
babies. Not about them
Yeah.
babies.
So we kept fighting them. And then it got to the point where we was realizing the harder we fight them, the more problems we was causing ourselves. Right. So we had to disengage from combat, find the parameters of the war we fighting. We not fighting the same war. This is a conjure war,
Right.
right? But once you find that, you will know what tribes is from there. The way you look, that's how the Polynesians that came looked.
Back when I was like very young, we used to. I grew up like in church, like a Christian. So like we was always in church, and I remember this one pastor that we had. He had said that to me one time. He was just like, "Your hair, like you look Samoan," and I was just like,
Mhm.
I didn't even know where Samoa was at that time, but I later found out it was from like the islands, and I was just like, I'll be watching like some of those videos of like how you was saying in one of the videos, just I think it was this last video, how like the tribes from other areas awaken that genetic memory in us. I be having that a lot because I'll like see these women like from Africa or from these islands and like the way that they dress, like I feel comfortable like dressing like that at home. Like I'm not from the islands at all, but like I don't know, like it definitely do be like speaking to my soul.
Mhm. You gotta remember, tribes came from the Polynesian islands. The whole monkey clan left South America. They got scattered. These is the ones that we call the gorilla clan now. This is your big Tookie, your Angel Bay types. Work with the iron. We lift weights. Them the gorilla clans.
Right.
That's one of the oldest clans on the land. And we call them gorilla clans, but they really call Congo clans. Every major land in America is the Mississippi Congo Basin. In China, it's the Yushan River Congo Basin. It's the Yellow River
Now,
in China.
what's the significance of the word Congo? Like, what does that mean? What is that significance?
Congo was the name of the oldest tribes of the land. We was what we call root clan for every landmass, right? So in order to get what's called the Earth Key was held by Enki. Enki means Earth Lord.
Right.
And the reason why he's called Enki, because he holds the Earth Key of rulership on the fatherland. And this is what Garvey came with. When he seen the war, he had to disengage now. Right? So he left the Congo key over here for one of the chiefs of the land to find the Congo key. We call it the Congo key or the gorilla key or the fuck it key.
Okay, I see what you're saying. I get it now.
Right? Now, by knowing this one piece of information, this is what makes it a key. It's a piece of information. By knowing this one piece of information, the Congo information, there's going to be a tribe on every landmass that you're going to be able to recognize their cultural expressions wherever they at. So when we made the allegiances in the Bang Dong Conference, we had already had ancient tribal treaties with the Chinese, what we called them the Qian. Right? And they were divided into Huns, Mongolians, and some smaller classified tribes of Asia. And so we began to adopt the name Li after a black general from China. That's the key. That's the key to China. That's the China key. So if we got a treaty with them, the only way we're going to know is it's going to be a Chinese guy who's going to point out the key holder of the gorilla clan. And they called him Crip, because they couldn't say cripple in their lingo. Right? So in the newspaper report, when they identified Tuki as being the holder of the Congo key, this is called the key from the Monkey King. He become the leader of the gorilla clan. Right? Now, all of the gorillas are his soldiers. We work in stealth mode as Black Gorilla Family. Now that's a George Jackson resurrected tribe. George Jackson resurrected the full gorilla tribe for stealth warfare from Soledad Penitentiary. When he wrote the Black Gorilla Family's Code of Conduct to fight this war as a war strategist general, that's why they never let him out of prison and he ended up murdering him. Because if he ever got out of prison, they thought that Fred Hampton was the terror. No. If they ever let George Jackson out, because he woke up in prison, he didn't wake up in the street. When he realized what was going on, he became a writer for the Black Panther Party. But he couldn't stand Eldridge Cleaver because he was a rapist, a confessed rapist, right? So he hated his guts because that's belligerent to the gorilla family,
Right.
right? So when he wrote the code of conduct for the black gorilla family, this is before Tukey must have been 12, 13 years old, right? He could have been a little bit older, but not much because it was written in the 60s. Okay, so now Tukey already then woke up. Well, he haven't woke him up yet. He about to wake up the two largest West Coast tribes, red and blue. He finna wake up his mama house and his daddy house. And by waking up one, he gonna automatically wake up to the other one because we at war. COINTELPRO infiltrated and told us the war was red versus blue. Digital Underground, Shock G told us in the song the West Coast Rap All Stars. He said it's the red and the white and the blue and the red, the blood and the crip and the white foods got you doing the crime, busting caps from one another, right? He talking about free white persons in law that came over here. ODB say shame on them niggas trying to run game on a nigga. Then he go into the concert and explain to you exactly what niggas he talking about, what these niggas is doing. Chief Crazy Horse. Everybody dying laughing because he's doing his crazy horse shit. But when you listen to his mama, he told his mama, we finna get our shit back. And she said, that's not possible. He said, bullshit. We got an alliance. She said, that's not possible. They broke up the tribes years ago. No, they didn't break up the tribes. They reclassified tribes under a term, gang. When you look up the word gang, one of the meanings of gang is tribe. They already knew. By making us look like we doing the evil shit, it's going to make our people stray away from us, and now we're going to lose all of our community support. But when you go back and look at the works before Prison of Larry Hoover, before Prison of Jeff Ford, before Prison of King Shorty, before Prison of Big Tukey, right? All these guys was doing community work. Like Tukey wasn't no guy that you couldn't walk up to and have a conversation with when he was in the street. Anybody out there in the West, red or blue, know they could walk up to Tukey and have a whole conversation with him. You probably wasn't gonna get too close if you was wearing red, but if you caught him somewhere by himself, he'd talk to you. He's never been a straight asshole. Right? He was just a hard knock because he have to wake up the two biggest West Coast clans. You see what Garvey had all these people focusing their attention on the West Coast. We have to wake them up. Them the soldiers we need. We need them motherfucking 40-ounce drinking, weightlifting in the driveway ass motherfuckers to come up out that driveway and not fight each other. We don't know how to do that yet. Right, in the 60s and the 70s, because they just waking up. They still got crust in their eyes doing this shit. Like, hit him. And they just swinging wild. I call it the invisible man syndrome. We all sitting in the room, invisible man walking around slapping everybody. Everybody hitting the motherfucker next to him. Now we all fighting in here, and the invisible man laughing his way out the door. We ain't never seen him in there. Because he looked just like us, but we couldn't tell. But now that we know that strategy, that's the key to identifying the enemy. If you don't know what he's using against you, you can't defend yourself against it.
And Rod, speaking about that, like you just always call them like the dirty Moors, and you was like you had said like they can really be anybody. I was wondering like, can these be people like in your family? Because I feel like
it's a book by Malachi York called Are There Black Devils? It's another one he got called We See You Too, Black Devil, right? And then he have another one about the demon seed. It got a picture of a white baby and a black baby on it, or a red baby and a white baby, or something like that on the cover of it. But when you read that book, he tell you these motherfuckers is born in our families. We done married to these motherfuckers. Some of us sleeping with the enemy and don't even know it. And we all thinking because they look like us, they not the enemy. And our ancestors left us messages. And they said, if you get rid of the enemy within, the enemy without cannot harm you. Why in the fuck did they tell us that? There's an internal enemy. The only way I can find him is if I have to go internal of the self, make sure I ain't my own enemy first. That means I got to go purge my ego. Right? Once I do that, now I'm starting saying, hey, wait, this motherfucking ego tripping ass motherfucker ain't one of us. Where he come from? Right? I got a friend. When I first met him, I was asking this who's on the yard in the prison. I'm like, who is this nigga? Where he come from? He ain't one of us. And they was like, what you talking about? I said, that nigga not from America. I don't know where that nigga from. He not from fucking America. And they laughing, they cracking up, laughing. So one of the dudes sitting at the table, go get him. Come here, Fuddy. He come over. I said, man, you ain't from America, is you? He said, I grew up here, but we from Sierra Leone. I said, I told you motherfuckers he ain't one of us. I know a motherfucker ain't us when I see him. And they're like, how you know? I said, I don't know. I just can tell. He different. He's fundamentally different than us. I met people from Kenya, from Nigeria, from Algeria, from Morocco, Tunis, Sudan, Somalia, Ethiopia, South Africa, from the Congo. Ain't never had one of them say, yeah, our ancestors sent y'all over here. I never heard that one time from none of them. They all tell me the same thing. What think you from Africa? Nigga, you from over here. Now, the idiots that come over here, they follow the narrative they give them in the immigration class that we came over on slave ships. But their ancestors over there does not corroborate that bullshit. It's why it's so important when Garvey said create the confraternity, the global brotherhood of the original clans, right? Now Nipsey come along from Eritrea. Everybody from from Crenshaw know Nipsey not one of us. He from somewhere else. They don't know where he from, but they know he ain't from over here. But they know he ain't the enemy too. Well, come on, how the fuck y'all know this nigga ain't the enemy when y'all know he ain't from over here? He don't move like the enemy. He instead of going to war with a motherfucker with a different color on, he tell you, hey brother, straighten up the New York, man. We ain't gotta be out here beefing. Who does that in the middle of gangbanging? He was always different. I didn't realize until recently, after his extraction that he was reincarnated Haile Selassie. So now my thing is, hold on. I was suspect of Haile Selassie. Malachi wrote a book called Is Haile Selassie the Christ? And he give his bloodline. And he say, see, he is not a Jew. He is not a descendant of the Jews. Right? So he's telling us in the book, the bloodline of Selassie is an organic earth being that's not from the tribes that we fighting, but he fighting the same fucking enemy. Right? So once we studied Haile Selassie, it took us back to what Garvey said, African root science, the science of non-ether, the ether utopia of the Western Ethiopia, which is today modern day Saharan desert Africa, right? Sub-Saharan Africa was called Zululand or Swaziland. The Zulu literally mean the people that walk from the sky, skywalkers, right? And so they was the dominant tribe of those lands, and they job, the Watusi, the Zulu, the Dinka, the Mandingo. All these tribes are supposed to be there to protect the little people from the bullying of the shit that was about to go down. So the little people are the sign